everybody. Anthony Dodge, Model Train Outsider, back for the final episode of this OBS From a Beginner to a Beginner video series. And no, I'm not in my layout room. I am actually up in my bedroom. And the reason that is because everything about OBS is already set up on my computer downstairs, but this computer in my bedroom, although it does have OBS loaded, has nothing on it. So it makes a great computer to show the startup stage. Here it is, the big bad OBS on your computer monitor. This is kindergarten introduction. There are 3 boxes we care about to get started live streaming: scenes, sources, and audio mixer. The scene is like a movie scene. You can change the arrangement, change the location, change what you want, and create different scenes. Every time you want to create a scene, you just come down here, and I will show you this up close real fast. You have add, remove, move the scene up, move the scene down. That's when you're using transitions and you have an order you want the scenes to be shown. You'll have those same 4 prompts in this box along with the settings prompt. Add, remove, move it up, move it down. We'll talk all about it when we get to this box. All right, OBS comes with the default scene, scene 1, right here, scene 1. So you want to create a live stream. Well, you can leave the name and call it scene 1, or you can right click on it and you will get a pop-up menu. And even on the screen here, you can see it says rename. And once you click rename, right down here, scene 1, and I'm going to call it live scene 1. All right, my live stream scene 1. This is how I want my live stream to start. Just give it a name. Okay, once you've given it a name, now you can then, if you've got plans already, but this is for beginners, you can add another scene. And when you do that, the prompt moves up onto the main screen here. And again, you can give the scene a name. Since I'm talking about model trains, I might call this one the station. So I'm going to have like one camera that's on me, and then another scene where the camera is focusing on my station. So I click OK, and down in my prompts below, now I have 2 scenes. All right, but notice nothing's happening because, and I'm going to go back to scene 1 here, live scene 1. There's nothing on the screen. Well, there can't be anything on the screen because I haven't added anything yet. That's where the second section comes in, sources. This is where you add cameras, microphones, any movie or song files you want to add. Anything you want to add, you add here. And it starts right here. As soon as you click add, these are sources of information. You click add. And immediately you get a prompt. And I'll zoom this in real quick. And these are all the different things you can add in a basic form of OBS. There are actually expansions on OBS, third-party expansions, that will allow you to add more. But for your first time live streaming, you don't really care about all this. And really, once I show you how to add one thing, the same system applies to everything. So I'll show you adding the basics. But obviously, to get live streaming, the first thing we want to do here is we want to add a video capture device. You can't live stream, and this is where you add a camera. Notice that the icon is a camera, video capture device. So I'm going to click add video capture device. And anytime I click add a device, this prompt comes on screen first. It's going to ask you, do you want to create a new or use an existing one? Well, I've never used a camera before on this OBS, so there is no existing. I have to create a new one. Now, for those of you who are going to use more than one camera, give your cameras different names. On my main computer downstairs that I live stream with, all my cameras are named after what they're videoing on my layout. But here, to be simple, I'm just going to say this is going to be camera 1. Now, 2 things can happen once I create a new camera. When I click OK, one of 2 things are going to happen. If you have more than one camera installed on your computer, you're going to get a big gray box that shows, that says device, and then has a drop-down menu with the word default in it. You would click on default, and then all the cameras that OBS is reading on your computer are listed there, and you just click on the one you want. You may have to click on multiple ones until you find, especially if they're all generics or they're all the same type of camera. If you only have one camera on your computer at this time, this is what's going to happen. I click on this, and bam, my camera's added. Because there's only one camera to add, it's saying, well, you want to add a camera. This is the only one available. Take it. So, I have now added a camera. Now, if you're looking, you're seeing a double image because this box, your prompt box, is where you say, yes, is the camera I want. Or if you've got an image here that, wait, this isn't the camera I wanted to add, you can come over here again where it says device. Again, normally if you have more than one camera, it would go straight to a big gray box that would say device, and then this prompt would say default. You would not see any image. But because there's only one camera here, but they're going to say, right, well, technically OBS has a default thing called OBS Virtual Cam. Ignore that. That's why the device prompt is still here, because I could change the camera if I wanted. This isn't the camera I want. Anyhow, when you say, yep, this is the camera I want, like you had 3 cameras and you chose this one, and this is the camera looking straight at me for scene 1. Yep, so click OK. But then you look over here, up in the corner. You go, wait a minute. This big black area, you know, that you see below me and to the side here, that's what your live streamers are going to see. They're going to see a big black box with just a little bit of you here. What do I do? Well, as soon as you've loaded your camera and got rid of that prompt screen, you will have your camera with this little red box on it. If it's a blue box, and I'll demonstrate that, bing. If it's blue, you just click on it once to red. The blue box means you can manipulate it, you can change it and move it around. The red boxes, you are now able to. One says you can because you haven't locked it. The other one says you can move it around. So anyhow, let's show you what I mean. So here you get the pull tabs. You've got a red box with pull tabs. So I can make this bigger or smaller. I can click on it and drag it around and put me wherever I want me. But since this is my first live stream with a camera, I want it as big as possible. So I do this. And I go, wait a minute. There's all this black area here. I want widescreen. Everything's widescreen today. Why is my camera a square? Because your camera, especially older generic cameras, are preset to be square, like 640 by 640 or 480 by 480 if they're really old. They're designed to be square. Okay? So you stretch it out here. Now, one way you could do this without adjusting the settings is just pull it like that, but then you're going to lose information from the video, but now I've made it fit the box, okay? I made it fit that way because I can manipulate the size. But if you want everything that's in the camera to be in your live feed, then square doesn't fit rectangle. So how do I fix that? You come down here, and I'm going to zoom in, and notice under sources, and now it says camera 1 is added. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on camera 1, but I'm going to zoom back out before I do that. I'm going to double click on camera 1, and that box that we started with comes back. And here's what you do. I can click on configure video, and when I click on that, another prompt box is going to open up over here, and that's where I control brightness, sharpness, and all that stuff. you can click on the camera control part and you can zoom, like have your camera permanently zoomed in. You can adjust the focus if you don't think it's focusing well, all that stuff. But again, for your first live feed, trust that your camera's preset values are good enough. That's not what we want to do. Scroll down here a bit and then get to this spot. And again, I'm going to zoom in temporarily. And right below me, it says configure video, configure crossbar. Don't worry about that. Go down to where it says resolution, FPS type. Notice it says device default. Device default. Okay. That is your camera's device default. It's saying you are set at what the camera said to start with until you monkey around with it. It gives you a drop-down menu. Click on it. Well, we don't want the device default. We're not happy with it. We're going to go with custom. Now, as soon as I click custom, the camera's going to shut off. Why? Because I'm adjusting it. Or it can't be adjusted while it's on, so it shuts off so you can adjust it. I'm sorry. So anyhow, now go down to the next one because this is what we care about, resolution. And when I pop this up, when I drop this down, I get a crap load of choices. This camera can go up to 2K. Let's just go right now to standard widescreen 1920 by 1080p. That's full high definition, FHD. And now you can see the box is showing a widescreen image where before it was showing a square image. This is what I want, so I click on it. But if you look behind the actual broadcast image, there's nothing there. Well, actually, there's something there. You can see a little bit of me over here. That's because I just increased the resolution 6-fold. So the image is now 6 times bigger. But we don't worry about that because we can manipulate it with those drag bars, those drag tabs. So we can manipulate it, and now it fits the broadcast window because OBS will broadcast in widescreen. And now my camera is set to full high definition widescreen, and hopefully you'll notice that even in this widescreen the image improved because it was at a lower, smaller, square resolution. Now it's at the full widescreen. Okay, now lesson done. You can turn off the video now. Anytime you want to add a camera, you just click down here in source, add video capture device, and you just keep adding cameras. All right, but before we do that, before you turn off the video, let's add a microphone. Now, if you look down below me, right in the middle, you'll see what says audio mixer. And right now, because I have not added a microphone, my camera has a microphone and my computer is using that as its default microphone. So when I go down that box, again, zoom in, you'll see camera 1 and mic/auxiliary. And you'll notice that as I talk, there is a green bouncing line, meaning that it is receiving sound, the microphone is working. And what has happened is literally, this computer doesn't have a microphone, but it detected a microphone in the camera and literally took it over. But your computer is now using that as its default microphone. And that's why you see here where it says microphone auxiliary, and that's showing you your microphone's attached. But what if you have your own microphone, like I do right there, my little Toner 777. So let's add a microphone now. So once again, I'm not going to zoom in anymore. You should know I'm in the sources box and I'm clicking add, the plus sign. But now I go up on the tab and I click add audio, the very top one, add audio input, because I want to put sound into my video, audio input. I click on that. And once again, that same prompt screen shows up. Audio input capture device. Well, I'm going to give it a name. rather than just audio input capture, because you always have to change names. It won't let you keep using the same name over and over. So I'm going to put Toner 777 because that's the microphone. So I usually just name my mic the brand and version of microphone I have. Again, notice that down here it says add existing and it gives you mic and AUX. Well, the mic AUX is already added here, so why would you add it again? I'm adding a new one. But because one is already added to the system, it's down here in the add existing section. So I'm going to add the toner. And voila, once again, here's that same prompt screen. This is the same one you would see when adding additional cameras when you have more than one camera. This is what you would have seen. If you had one camera, it added the one camera automatically. But if you had 3 cameras, 2 cameras, 4 cameras already connected to your computer, this is the screen you would have seen. And it says device, default, and then you would go over here on the menu and click, and then all your cameras would be here. In this case, it's my list of microphones that are added. So I'm going to add toner and say OK. And then when I look down here, the toner is now added to my sources. So now I have video and I have sound, but I still have one problem with sound. If you come down here, you will notice that both mic auxiliary and toner are bouncing back and forth with sound waves. You don't want that unless you are set up through a external sound mixer to have multiple microphones. What will happen is the people listening to your live stream, when you have the camera mic and a separate mic added, is they will be getting echoing, a tinny effect, perhaps even feedback. So you always want to deactivate the ones you don't want to use. And you deactivate what you don't want to use by coming over here and clicking on the speaker symbol. And watch, if you're looking down there, it will turn red. So I'm going to turn off the mic. And now you will see the green bar isn't moving, a gray bar is. Now this is the volume control. To raise or lower volume, like if you're me and talk loud, you might have the mic turned down a bit. But I'm going to turn that down, and even the camera one, just to avoid any potential issues, I'm going to turn that one off. And I just do this. I turn them down just so I don't see the flashing gray bar and get confused. So now only one mic is working, and that's what I want. One camera, one mic. You're ready to live stream. You want to add more cameras? Add more cameras. What else do you want to add? Well, let's say you want to add an image. Well, you come to the tab and you go to add image. Again, it's going to prompt you for a name. Now, I happen to know the picture I want to add is of Cardiff Castle. So I'm going to prompt Cardiff Castle. I'm going to add an image of Cardiff Castle because I want to talk about my trip to Cardiff Castle. So I'm going to get to whatever file it is following my prompts. So I know it's in Documents, it's in 2022 Trip UK, it's in Pics. And it was on Cardiff Day 2 that I saw it. It's in the Pics file. And the only things that will show up in here are picture photograph files, JPEG, BMPs, PNG files, anything that is a videographic image file. All right, so I pick a picture. And once again, that prompt box comes up to say, is this what you wanted? Just like camera, just like mic, is this what you wanted? Okay, but then when I look at my screen, it's not fitting. Go to the manipulation and shrink it down. Just keep bringing it smaller and smaller until it fits where you want it, and put it where you want it. So now I've shrunk it down to size. So I put it here, put it here? Do I put it here? Yeah, let's put it up there. Now, take a second and notice this. Look right above me. Do you notice how my camera is in a blue box and the image is in the red box? Blue means I can manipulate it. Red means I am manipulating it. So right now, I can't manipulate my camera image. I can't shrink it, lower it, anything else. Now, it's not a big deal. All I got to do is click on it, and now I'm red, and the picture's blue, because now I'm manipulating this. So now I can say, you know what? I'm going to shrink myself here. Maybe I want to make the picture larger. But wait a minute. As I made the picture larger, my camera disappeared. What do? Well, this is layering, people. This is layering. And you adjust that by looking here. Notice how Cardiff Castle is listed first. Can you see that? Cardiff Castle is on top, which means it's in front of everything else. It's on top of everything else. If I want to bring my camera into this picture, like, yes, I want this picture a lot full screen, but I want the camera showing me inset, then what I have to do is this. I am going to use these carrots, which say move up or move down. I can either move the picture down or I can move the camera up. I want to move the camera in front. So I'm just going to click this and it will go to the top, and voila, it appears. So now I have me inside the picture. So originally I had the picture inside the video camera. This is layering. So if you add multiple cameras or you have multiple images in your camera feeds, however you want to mix and match, you just have to organize them. You have to layer them and understand what's in front of whom. For example, I'm going to make me bigger, but I still want that picture on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move me down. I'm going to move me down. And now there's the big picture. Whoops. I got to make sure I'm manipulating the picture now. There I am again. And now the picture is inset. Okay. So it's just moving them. See, this big picture, am now on the bottom and everything else is on top of this picture, meaning that they show in front of it. Layering. Now let's say I want to add another picture real quick. So let's add image. And now when you look at the prompt, it says create new or add existing. And if I wanted to put a second version of that picture up here, it would add it again. I don't. I want to create new. And this time I want it to be Cardiff Castle, but I can't use Cardiff Castle again. It's a different picture. So now I'm just going to abbreviate like CC2, Cardiff Castle 2. I can't use the same name again. So I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to call it CC2. So I click. Now I'm at the browse thing again. So I click, and it's going to go right back to where I was browsing last time. It will always go to the previous place you browsed from. And I had a gorgeous picture of the keep I wanted to show. So I'm going to look for that gorgeous picture of the keep in my images. There it is, and I'm going to pop it on here. And, oh, man, that's the picture I wanted, but sideways. Don't worry about it. Say, yep, that's the picture I wanted. So I close out. It's really big. So shrink it. Shrink it. It's really big. Don't worry about it. Shrink it. And once I shrink it to a spot where I'm happy with it, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. What do? Right click on it. Right click. I right click on it. I get a prompt menu. And in the prompt menu, look for transform. Look for transform right there, transform. And then it gives you another pop-up menu. rotate 90 degrees clockwise. Rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. For you in the UK, anti-clockwise. So rotate it. Bam. Hey, it's rotated. And I want to put that picture right. Oh, crap. Well, maybe I'll put it over here. Hey, you know what? I'm not happy. You know, I really just wanted this. Now I could have cropped the picture, but you know what? I can drop down and now my display will only show what I left in the box. The rest of it is off screen. I could edit it that way without editing it. But let's say I have stuff I still want to put over, over here. There's stuff I want to put over here. And this is problematic because I've got, let me move this picture over here. And I really want this picture big. It's a really cool picture. I want this bigger. So I enlarge it up there. Okay. But the problem is I know I want to put something over here. Well, again, I can move this down. Or I could hide it, but I want this picture showing too. So what I do is I'm going to move this picture in front of the Cardiff castle, because when I added this image here, it went on top. But now I want it below the other image, so the other image shows above it. So I'm going to drop it. Whoops, I went the wrong way. There. I moved the Cardiff Castle picture. Whoops. I moved this picture up to the top. So I'm on the bottom. And then that image here is on top of me. And then that image is on top of first image. And by the way, it works really well here because it cuts out that sidewalk area that was detracting from the really cool view of the keep. All right. But you know what? I also have video of me at that castle. So I want to add video. So what do? I go back on this source. Again, we're always in source here. I've created a scene, but now I'm building my scene. Whether I've got multiple cameras or multiple images, I want to add something else. So I'm going to add a media source. Media is where I add music and video files. So I'm going to add media source. This is going to be, and I can't use Cardiff Castle, but you know what? I got this cool picture of, so I'm going to call it Cardiff 3. Just any name that's not the same of any name you've already used for what's in your scene. So Cardiff 3. Okay, but this is going to be a video. So I click OK. Now this prompt comes up. I've got to browse. Now it goes to where I was and it says no items match because I'm looking for video files and the last place I looked was picture files. So I'm going to go back to this file, and I know that the picture I want to show was Cardiff Day 2, but here's video of Cardiff Day 2, and now I've got pictures of the video in the castle that I want to add. Now here's the thing, when you add video, it won't show here. When you add video, it won't show in the prompt. Because it's not up, it can display JPEG and PNG and BMP, but it can't play video in this prompt. And then I have two choices here on this prompt. It says loop, which means it will keep playing the video over and over. Or if I don't let it loop, when the video's over, it will leave my screen. It will drop off. So do I want the video to keep playing or do I want it to not play? I'm going to leave it as when the video's done, it will disappear from my screen. So I'm going to click OK. Again, don't worry that the video is not showing here. But bam, there's the video. Now, once the video comes up, look right below the image. Right below the image, notice how there is a play button here. Notice this bar is moving across. I'm going to pause it for a second because I want to adjust it. And I want to put this video, and this video was shot in 4K, so it's 4 times the size of my original images here. So I have to shrink it down. I'm going to put it up there. And the thing is, I can use the slide bar and push it back. I want to go back to the beginning. And now I have a video added. And I can talk about the video, and I can even pause the video while I say, and right here, you'll see at this point here, I can do this. And I can even, while I'm live streaming, increase it large enough and say, yeah, you can see if I zoom here. So now I've added pictures and images. Okay, the only other thing, because this video is already over half an hour, the only other thing to add is if I wanted to add, like I've been shopping on eBay and I want to show you something I was looking at. Well, if you have a window open, you click on add and you go down there and it says window capture. And that's the last thing I'm going to show you today, because everything else you can experiment with on your own. I've showed you how to add everything, but I click on window capture. And window capture is going to show whatever window you've currently got open on your computer. So again, I'm going to call this YouTube, because I know that's the last window I had open. It was the last tab I had open. So it shows me this, and I says, yep, that's what I want. That's my Windows. And it happens to be my YouTube channel, or my YouTube subscription page. And that's that. Now, the only negative here, I'm going to shrink this into screen, and I'm going to throw this over here now. Now, this is on top, so this would be in front of everything else. This is on top. So, again, as you're moving things around, remember what's on top of what by looking over here. Well, you can't see it because that's in the way, but by looking over here, what's on top. Whatever the highest thing is there, that's what's on top. So anyhow, the one negative about opening a window is this. When you open a window, you can't control it while you're looking at OBS, because you're looking at OBS while you're streaming. You can't control window. You actually have to minimize OBS now, and then everything you're doing on this window will show in the box in your scene. So, like, let's say I say, hey, I wanted to show you something I was buying. I'm going to click over to my eBay page and say, I want you to check this out. I was looking at this model or something like that. If I pop OBS back up, notice it's changed. Now it's showing what I was last showing in that window, because all the tabs that are in that window will stay in that window. If I have a second window open, then when I do the prompt to open a window, it'll say which one you've got to open. And then you'll have to tell it which one. In some cases, you have to pay attention to which one. Like if you have two windows open and one is minimized and one is minimized and one's maximized, it will automatically add the maximized one. You have to have them both maximized to add that additional window if you have two separate windows open. I'm not talking tabs, I'm talking windows. Anyhow, I am going on 35 minutes with this video. This is the shortest I've done it. I've tried it about 6 times, and I'm going to call this a victory. This is how you do a live stream. You're ready to go. You go back to video 2 to see how to live stream, because in the end, you just go to video 2, and that shows you how to actually live stream. But this video was how to add things. For you people that are total beginners, this is how you add the basics. The basics. There's so much more I didn't show you. You can experiment, but I showed you the basics of adding, whether it's multiple pictures, multiple cameras, windows, screens. Just remember when you add sound devices that really you should only keep one active at a time, unless everybody's on their own earphone mic system, then that's okay. You can add multiples, but if you have just basic microphones, only have one active. All right, so that is it. This was OBS from a beginner to beginners. I hope it helped some of you somewhere, somehow. I'm going to say Auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, and happy trains from the Model Train Outsider.